What's that like for you socially? Here you are, a 16-year-old author. You're doing interviews, you got websites, you're doing appearances. You're basically a child celebrity. So what is that like socially for you?
It can be a little scary. I have to
Mhm.
say, I know there's a lot of people who are like, in English classes, I find that it's like, this was more so when I was in middle school than now in like ninth grade.
Mhm.
But I like people, we had to do this thing where people could sign up to critique your work and no one would sign up to critique mine. I got no feedback.
They were intimidated.
Yeah, so people can be kind of intimidated and it's a little upsetting because it's like, I'm kind of normal. Like I do
Right.
have normal interests too. But also in many ways it's really cool. Like,
Mhm.
and honestly, like I wouldn't really trade it for anything. Like it's a lot of fun, like being able to like go around and meet people and do interviews and like sign books and stuff. And I think there's a lot of, people I know who are like my age who don't entirely understand it because,
Right.
there's probably a lot more fun things that a teenager could be doing. But like to me, like this is really fun.
Right, because this is your passion. This is where your
Yeah.
this is your love. How is okay, so you start at 12. What was the encouragement or discouragement like from your parents?
So my parents were like really, really supportive early on. The
Mhm.
funny thing is, I didn't tell them I was writing a book at first.
You
I have
just
this
did it.
thing where for some reason I'm always like slightly embarrassed about the book I'm writing when I'm starting out. I cannot explain why. Like there's always something I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to like talk about it yet. But it just like
Mhm.
comes from like this weird like sense of like embarrassment. So I did not talk about the book at first.
Mhm.
Like I don't even think I told them I was writing a book. And then one day like sort of mid-pandemic we had like family over and we were doing like the socially distanced backyard like
Mhm.
thing, and I came out and I was like, do any of you guys want to read the prologue for the book I'm writing? And
Wow.
everyone was like, what? And then I read it and everyone was really supportive, even though it was probably a really bad prologue. I don't entirely remember I like, kind of remember the Biomlock prologue, but I could not tell you how bad it is.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not sure. But I think it was pretty, like, all over the place, especially, like, the early version of the prologue.
Right.
Like, pre-editing was pretty rough.
Uh-huh.
But they were all still, like, immensely supportive about it. And I was, really grateful because, I know people whose parents aren't and whose
Right.
family isn't. And that it really does, like, make a difference.
I'm not a parent, but I am somebody's child. And my parents, my dad is he does music and the musician, and my mom has always done crafts. They have their regular jobs, but they've always kind of encouraged. I have a sister and a brother. They've always encouraged us to do the things that we're interested in, and arts has always been part of that interest. And I think it's very important for parents to encourage those interests in arts in their kids, because it expands them and their personality and their view of the world. So that's absolutely beautiful that you had
Yeah.
so much support. And was it a little nerve-wracking because it's not your immediate family, it was an extended family,
Yeah,
correct?
it was really scary. And, like, I didn't know, like, how they were gonna react because, I don't think I'd shared the prologue with really anyone. I do
Mhm.
kind of remember that I think I sent it to, like, my 7th grade teacher,
Mhm.
but other than that, like, like, no one had read it. And, of course, like, your teacher's gonna be nice to you.
Right.
Then again, your family's gonna be nice to you too. But
Well, sometimes
yeah.
my family is we cut to the truth and just if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. If you like that clip, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to catch up on all of our latest content. Don't forget to hit the notification button when you do subscribe so you can get updated every time we release content. We release content every day, whether it's an actual show or clips from the shows. So go ahead and subscribe, like, comment. Also, don't forget our Patreon page where you can find our Talking Straight-ish and After Hours Uncensored episodes. That's patreon.com/unsolicited perspectives. But once again, thank you again for listening to Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, and I'm going to catch you next time. I'll holla.